Gentlemen, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us. Carl here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life. And it's my pleasure to be chatting with Herbert and Simon.
Yeah.
Of the glorious and epic symphonic power metal band Dragony. Ahead of your brand new release, which is the simply phenomenal album Viribus, Unitis. I hope I'm saying that right. Which, as of the time of recording, is out tomorrow, the 15th of January 2021, via Napalm Records. We'll start with you first, Herbert. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. How's your 2021 been so far?
Well, first let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be here. And, well, 2021 was interesting, I would say. If you look at things that happened in the world, and especially in the heavy metal music scene, that's not interesting, that's sad. A few things happened there. But yeah, apart from that, mostly doing day job for me personally, and in the afternoons and evenings, promotional work for the album.
Of course, working away basically. And yourself, Simon?
Yeah, well, it's a very interesting year, I'd say, at least. For me, it's kind of tough because I lost my day jobs, because I was at school, and of course, everything that is not non-essential is cutted. And yeah, on the effects of like just sitting at the computer the whole day, you don't get to do like sports and recreational stuff, so that's kind of draining. But all in all, I'd say let's just make the best out of it.
Well, it's very important that and so have you found then you've been able to cope quite well, which is effectively this new world we live in. It's not going away anytime soon, and we've all been dealing with it over the last year. Have you personally been able to get to grips with living like this?
Yeah, so I think the problematic part is I've been playing video games the whole day.
Okay.
But on the positive side, I've been playing video games the whole day, so that's
What about yourself, Herbert?
I have not come quite to terms with it, I must say, because with the daily routine of working, going to the supermarket, cooking, sleeping, working, supermarket, cooking, sleeping, working, supermarket, cooking, sleeping, I'm exhausted just from that. And for my brain, some other impressions are really missing, like going to the cinema, going to the museum, meeting some friends in a pub, just some other inputs for the brain. It's a little bit exhausting, I must say. But at the same time, it's super necessary. And it's hopefully not for too much longer.
That's the thing. Hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I guess the obvious question then is, how, as a unit, the band, did this take a toll in regards to the work needed to push out a brand new album?
Simon?
Yeah, I think it wasn't, that part wasn't that tough, because I think a lot of the work was done before it really started with COVID.
Cool.
And I think we've been good at like individually doing what we have to do, and then just getting it done at a couple of days, like with minimum like group meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a little bit challenging, but I wouldn't say it was like a deal breaker or something.
Yeah. Let me add to that. A few things during the recording process changed from the usual way. Because of the COVID situation, we recorded the record in reverse order. We basically started with the vocals and finished with the drums, which is rather unusual, I would say. But that was necessary because we've not been in the studio together. It was each of us individually going to our producer's place and recording there.
Okay. So was there anything during that kind of period, and I guess as well when it comes to promoting it, that you were forced to do, but has also worked out to your benefit, that you think, okay, that works so well for us, we might continue to do that in the future?
Well, maybe not. Well, since we've got, I did have a lot of time. I did play a lot of guitar, like a lot. So that is of course positive. And without distractions and no reason to go out really, because it's legally not possible. So that was positive. Other than that, yeah.
And taking a little bit more time to practice the songs before going to the studio and to look at the songs and maybe rework a little of the details in the songs, that there was more time for everything.
Yeah.
I would say.
So you can argue one benefit is, as you said, you've had this extra time to tweak and work and perfect.
Yeah, especially for me, because without COVID, I would have been on tour with my other band. And so with this, I was forced to not go on tour. We're still forced to not go on tour, but stay at home and really put more work into the new Dragony record, which benefit us all.
It's all about trying to find the small positives in a pretty rubbish situation overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, Viribus Unitis, named after the official motto of the Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, Joseph, yes.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes, I don't know my Austrian history, I'm afraid. But you yourselves are describing this as a return to your rock opera roots. What prompted that decision? And were you concerned that it might be seen as the band may be moving backwards?
No, we're not concerned about moving backwards. After we finished our third CD, Masters of the Multiverse, sometime later we sat down and talked about a new record. And it was pretty clear from the beginning that we would like to do some sort of concept again. Now that we've grown, we've matured as musicians, as people, and maybe try ourselves at a concept story, concept record again with our new experiences. And then I think it was one of the evenings leading to 70,000 Tons of Metal, or maybe On the Ship, where we talked about which kind of concept could we do, and some kind of alternative history came up, because that's something that has not been done that much in the metal scene. And we were talking and maybe drinking a few beers, and I think it was I who came up with some kind of word pun in German with Cyberpunk Joseph. Because in German and in Austria he's called Kaiser Franz Joseph. And that was one of the starting points for this story that we've done in the end.
Incredible. So that small seed grew into this, say, very detailed and, in a nutshell, very unique, as you said yourself, turn of events. You see, your background is the cover of the album, which is a great collection, I guess, almost of what's part and parcel of it.
Yep.
So you had that seed. What did you guys do then? Did you just bounce ideas off each other in regards to the timeline?
Basically, our singer Siegfried came up with the whole script, with the whole story, and he presented it to us. We read through it and said, yeah, let's do this. This is awesome. And at that time, we already had 1 or 2 songs written for a new record without a context, just the music. And then we started with the story in mind, with the first draft. We started to write more music. And with some of the new songs, the story changed a little bit, so everything evolved simultaneously.
Amazing. And what made you decide to kind of focus on the Habsburg monarchy in particular over all of Austrian history?
Because it's so recent. It was one of the last empires that still existed. And empires rise and fall. That's the course of an empire. But it's so much in recent memory, and Austrians are still some kind of fond of the imperial times. It's not that we really miss them, and of course democracy is a much better system, but it's still in the collective memory, I would say.
It's interesting. I can completely understand where you're coming from, obviously living in Britain and the British Empire and a love of that history. So, as someone who's unfamiliar with Austrian history, do you see this as a little opportunity to encourage listeners to maybe go out and learn the truth, or are you just happy for listeners to adopt your version, so to speak?
I would say the answer is yes. Simon?
Yeah, probably both, I think. I think some knowledge in history is always a good idea. And on the other side, what we really want to do is just make good music. That is of course the priority. And if people enjoy it for whatever reason, that's fine with us, of course.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And for all its storytelling elements, I mean, the album is still wholeheartedly a symphonic power metal epic. Something that when I listen to, I describe to my wife as being deceptively uplifting a lot of the time. Was it the goal to keep it still sounding fun, positive, and enjoyable in that sense?
I would not say it was a goal. I would say it was a given, because we are Dragony and we do our kind of music and our kind of power metal. That's a little bit storytelling, sometimes less on previous albums, sometimes more, like on this one. And it's always, we try to make uplifting music to help escape the real world a little bit. And the listener should have a good time and not be drained by the music.
And what about yourselves? Considering the experience of the concept and the time and the COVID, did you enjoy yourselves while making this?
For me it was absolutely fun to go to our producer's place and just play some music, get out of the house, and that was really amazing. And I kind of miss it already because I'm at home again the whole time. So
What about this promotional side of the work? Is this something you enjoy? Whether it be your interviews, whether it be your answering the same questions over and over again, having to constantly drip feed new music videos and singles, is that something you like?
I like it.
Okay.
It's sometimes a little bit strenuous. I think it's maybe the right word, especially after working a whole day in your 9-to-5 job and then doing 3, 4, 5 interviews in the evening. But at the same time, I really enjoy it, and it's great that there's so much media attention on our product, and the drip feeding of new singles or things like that. It's the promotional plan to do that, so people can really look forward to the release. And at the same time, if you do it like that and not release the whole thing at once, you really can watch the reaction of the people to each and every note basically you're playing or releasing.
And is that something you have been paying attention to, the response of fans so far up to this?
Definitely. We are very active on Facebook, we're active on Instagram, we try to reply to YouTube comments, and maybe even to the negative ones, to just tell the people we know what we're doing. And
don't take us too seriously.
Yeah.
It seems like you've got your head screwed on right for social media use. Don't take it too seriously. Do the best you can.
Yeah.
You also worked with a number of different talents, obviously, on the album when it came to musical arrangements and stuff. Was there anyone in particular that you were most excited to have?
Well, the biggest name comes to mind, I would say, with Tommy Johansson from Sabaton. It was really exciting to work with him, but actually it was our second collaboration. On the previous record, Masters of the Multiverse, he played a guitar solo in one song. So there's, especially with our singer Siegfried, there's a friendship going on between these two. And I think they are regularly in touch about what each and everyone is doing. And when Siegfried told him about, we're doing a new record, it's a concept, and it's going to be this concept, something historic, but not really. I think Tommy told him, maybe I have something for you.
Okay, that's exciting. I mean, you've already touched upon your lengthy career so far. It's been an incredible decade or so for Dragony.
Yep.
Could you ever, and think back, I guess, envisioned yourself to be in this position that you are now, where you're able to return to a concept album and have what is looking like worldwide attention for it? It's cast your mind back to how you were when you were younger.
Well, if you would have told 16 or 20-year-old me what's happening right now with myself in music, with everything that the band plans to do, the band has done, or in my case, the bands, plural, I would not believe myself at all. So for me, it's a dream come true.
That's fantastic. What yourself, Simon?
Yeah, I remember 2019 was a crazy year when we played on 70K Wacken and in Vienna at the open air. And that's when I kind of thought to myself, so I'm really glad I picked up the guitar when I was young, because this year alone was amazing. I couldn't have believed that we played these venues. Really, that was really cool.
Talking about this live music side of things, then how you both, or should I say, have you come to terms with the fact that we're still stuck in a situation where you are going to release this album and not right now be able to capitalize on that in the live environment?
That's hard. Because usually if you release an album, you go on tour with it once or twice or thrice. But now we can't do that, obviously. So it's a little bit hard. But at the same time, we try to focus our attention more on the online side of things. The internet is the way to stay in touch with friends, with family, with fans, with just people. And we try to do our best, I would say.
Yeah. And of course, when the opportunity does arise and you are allowed out of your houses with your instruments in tow, this is an album that is almost ready-made for the stage, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?